This video is going to be about some of the ideas I've been watching and videos that atheists have been making, as I found them to be rather funny, in the sense that I knew of some of the ridiculous things held by religious beliefs, but these people put them to satire that makes them not only funny, but also educational for those that are interested in it. And it also makes me question, what exactly is my belief? I would not say I qualify as an atheist, and I'm not sure agnostic exactly is a designation I would use. So for the purposes of this video and any further questions, I'm going to designate a new word that kind of describes what would be, I guess, a religion that would classify me well enough. And the reason I wanted to do this is because in the United States we have freedom of religion, but not necessarily freedom of belief. In this I mean, my spiritual seeking and beliefs have led me to substances which are illegal within this country because of an overbearing and closed-minded society that has been brainwashed against them. And I know those are harsh words, but the truth of the matter is that my method of seeking put me at odds with the society's laws. Now I went to Peru to take ayahuasca, but in general my other explorations have been on my own, and they've had to be quite subversive in the fact because the laws of this land would put me in prison. Here I quote Graham Hancock, as well as others, about the true freedoms we have within this country concerning our own conscious exploration of reality. For the sake of this, I will go ahead and quote a new religion, just so it's on the books, and therefore I might have some freedom with it. So we will call this Entheist. And what I mean by that is I use entheogens to gain a greater understanding of who I am, spirituality, reality, and what would generally be termed God. Though my term for God does not relate to a religious one, it does relate to that something greater outside of this physical universe that is the source of it. When I talk about entheogens, I usually refer only to the natural substances, but that's my belief, such as ayahuasca, mushrooms, morning glory seeds, even cannabis. And there are others, natural enough, though they have to be processed in such a way, such as pure dimethyltryptamine. So for the sake of clarity, I will use the word entheist as a religious belief that I can say I am. It's just a simple enough word and title so I can get past some of the extraneous relationships with what religion am I. Now back to some of the videos I've been watching. I find it very interesting, and I myself am part of this because I am searching for information just so I know how to relate to other people's realities. Even though for a time I was a Christian, and therefore have studied the Bible quite in depth, the relooks I'm having with these satiric videos have now placed some of the things I'm seeing into the groundwork of just plain funny. As far as the insanity of the world goes, I've covered that in another video. And I see that they aren't stopping with just normal religious concepts, but are also hitting anything which seems somewhat absurd or outside the domain of normal rational thinking. I don't have a problem with this. To me that seems the point, to make people think. And from the viewpoint I have, I can see some of the absurdity. Though some of them are a bit more crass than I would like, they still have good information and present it with a sense of humor. And as I was saying, it seems the atheists read more of the religious text than the actual religious people. So some of the channels that I've been watching just to see what's going on. Cool Hard Logic, as it takes apart some of the new spiritual science endeavors. Logicked, as it takes apart some of the Christian fundamentalists and their speeches. The Bible Reloaded, as it actually goes through the Bible and takes apart it in many ways. And Dark Matter 2525, for some of his enjoyable cartoons. There's also an array of others that show some of the absurdity, including some that are not just funny, such as Richard Dawkins, but they're educational. And of course I also watch some of the religious fanatical stuff, because the absurdity does make me laugh at times. The only problem I have with the general atheist idea is that it is also a closed-off system, and they don't leave any room open for anything else that might be true. Now as far as my videos are concerned, and I'm sure there are those that will have their opinions on them, it doesn't matter to me what you believe. I'm not here to sell you on anything. I'm here to tell you my experiences, and what I can make out of them. And being a scientist, I am limited on that as well, because before I could teach anything of any great nature, I need proof, and have been qualifying anything said as my opinions or philosophy if I don't have that proof. Now that being said, there are some things that are provable and true, which I have come across, and I put one video about that. But another realization I've come to through this is that the truth is not fragile, can't be denied, and is there. It's a matter of us putting it into context and understanding. Now, along with this, I'm going to add some viewpoints about some things that have been in the news lately, specifically about the attacks on the cartoonists because of their depiction of Muhammad. And this goes for any satire, depiction of prophets or gods, or anybody else's religious beliefs that are held to the point of that worship. And that is, that if they are true, they shouldn't need anyone to defend them. And by the mere act of that kind of activity, to me shows a moral lack of faith. That you should have to defend it in any way, shape, or form. If you believe you have the truth of God, Allah, or any other names, and someone makes fun of that name, God should be able to defend himself. Now this is a touchy subject that I certainly don't want to dwell on either. It's just one of those things I see that doesn't make that much sense to me. I'll end this video talking about worship, since I wanted to do one on that for some time, and I have a little here, and I know it's been said. Why would the God of the universe need to have us worship him? Now I see this from the human point of view, but from that God's point of view, I don't get it. And I have watched videos on this as well, and I come to the distinct division between worship and praise. I don't praise or worship God, but in seeing beauty of existence and creation, I can see the praise. To me, it's gratitude. It's awe-inspiring. It's simply looking at it with the wonder of the beauty that it is. I need not worship God to see that. I'm just thankful that I can. Again, for those of you that are interested and may be of the same like with the Atheans, please feel free to use the term Entheist when someone might ask you what your religion is. Thank you very much.